These are my favorite tools to help you fake it till you make it. And a quick spoiler alert, I still haven't made it. If you want to start building better, faster, and safer projects, at some point you should buy toggle clamps. And let me demonstrate some use cases. This is my obnoxiously large picture frame sled, and a couple simple toggle clamps hold the workpiece down securely to ensure I get a nice, accurate cut and keep my fingers safely out of harm's way. Eventually, you'll come to the realization of what a money pit this hobby is, and would like to make a couple bucks to offset some costs by selling your work. Learning to speed up production is critical. A couple years back, I was batching out these chairs, and almost all of the parts had multiple angles and tapers. To get this moving, I built sled for each part that could make all the cuts in a progression. Aside from being significantly faster than the alternative, it's more accurate, repeatable, and nice and safe. By far, the most intimidating tool to me is a router table, and if you've had a router kickback, you probably know what I'm talking about. But to start creating projects that have curves, at some point you need to conquer those fears and employ patterns and templates. Toggle clamps at the router table are critical in these situations and keep the workpiece secure and your little mitts far away from this spinning death ball. You can buy these in 4-packs for $13 or so, and I've got a slew that I keep around. Since this is a YouTube video, I'll have links below to everything I mentioned today. Let's jump back to the sleds. The most important element to a good sled is that it gives you accurate and repeatable results. To make that happen, you can use the fence as a reference or runners that slide in the miter slots. But here's a problem with the fence. This assumes you can accurately go back to the same position if needed, which isn't always ideal if you're coming back to a project 4 months later. Not that any of us start and stop a project. Additionally, you introduce human error if the sled wanders away from the fence during a cut. This is why I prefer runners. But making your own runners is quite frankly annoying, and unless you use nice stable quarter or riffs on wood, they will contract in the winter, making them too loose, or swell in the summer, making them too big. Instead, buy your runners. There are a bunch of different options out there, and I've tried a lot. My personal favorite is Sold by Craig. And yes, they are a little pricey and a touch annoying to dial in, but they are damn reliable after that. The beauty of buying aluminum runners is that you can reuse them. So once you retire a sled, take them off and repurpose them. They come in different lengths, and I promise they will save you hours of annoying frustration making a thin piece of wood that no one will ever see. Now, if you're on a budget, there is an alternative option called UHMW, which is a durable plastic that can be purchased in sheets and cut to size. But I still splurge with the aluminum because I just want to move on with my life as quickly as possible. I was introduced to these Collins spring clamps a couple years ago, and you've probably seen them used in trim carpentry, but they're perfect for picture frames or small boxes. And yes, before you say it, I've been made aware that they look like a
pecker! Wait, that's not a woodpecker, it looks like someone's private!
Now, there are cheaper versions, but what makes a Collins great is they come to a perfect point, which creates a lot of clamping force. Now, there is a downside to that. They do leave an indentation in your wood, especially if it's something softer. Honestly, they really aren't noticeable, but when I'm making picture frames, I like to reinforce the miter with splines. So as long as you place the clamp points where the splines are going to be cut, the indentations won't ever be a problem. Another awesome option for gluing angles other than 90 degrees is this Bessie strap clamp. It's much easier to use compared to budget options out there and provides a lot of clamping force thanks to this handle that easily cranks down. If you won't be using splines or you're working on a larger project like these nightstands, at $30 a piece, these are well worth the price of admission. When it's time to up your cutting board game and set yourself apart from the 935,000 Etsy listings, I would suggest considering templates for non-standard shapes. What I love about this system is that it uses vacuum pressure to securely hold the template down while routing with a flush trim bit, which is particularly helpful if you're going to be batching out lots of boards and want to save time. I also like that you can see through the template to help line up your design, avoid knot holes, and really make it look like you know what you're doing. These are designed and sold by a fellow woodworker, so you're also supporting a small business. Now, you do need a vacuum pump, and that can be purchased on Amazon for $100 or so, but there are enough creatures and shapes available to start your own cutting board petting zoo. So go check them out for yourself. And if you don't have a vacuum pump or router table, you can still secure the template down with double-sided tape and use your handheld router. Just be sure everything is nice and snug. I often get asked how my shop is so clean, and the truth is, I know how to operate a vacuum. But the other half of it is, if I'm going to be doing something messy without dust collection, I just go outside. In my last video, you might have seen me using this portable battery from Jackery. And I've started to realize I'm a big fan of a sponsored product when I actively use it off camera, which has been the case with this guy. It's light and portable and perfect for setting up quickly outside when doing tasks like this. I just hate fussing with extension cords. I'm using the 1000 Pro, which features 1000 watt hours of capacity with 4 USB and 3 AC plugs. Plus, it's ultra quiet, which is perfect for tailgating or when we go glamping with the family. But what I really love are these optional solar panels, which allows you to charge this anywhere. If you need a great gift this holiday season for the adventurer in your life, or maybe to provide peace of mind during a blackout, follow the links in the description below to take advantage of a 28% discount. And thank you to Jackery for sponsoring today's video. I remember being incredibly intimidated by seeing beautiful bow ties and inlays on YouTube or Instagram when starting out. You know what, actually I lied. I'm still intimidated. But the point is, they don't need to be complicated. This is a system sold by another small company named Slab Stitcher. And let me just say, I have no affiliation with anyone I've talked about today, and hopefully you understand the importance of supporting small, local family-owned businesses. I bought this a couple years back, and what I love about it is it's completely turnkey. They sell the router bit, the guide bushing, centering pin, in a variety of shapes and sizes to get you started. Plus, the actual wood to use is the inlay, and they have a bunch of different species for you to choose from. To really cheat like me and avoid using chisels at all costs, there are shapes like these sedge bells that are as simple as route with the provided bushing and bit, hammer the inlays in place, and enjoy. Nothing else. If you want to customize and add a bit of fun to those cutting boards from earlier, they have plenty of options like states or even these cute dog paws. You simply set the shape into their main template guide, choose a location, and get to routing, following the same steps shown earlier. It's that easy. Am I using the dog paws just so I can naturally segue into showing you our new puppy? You be the judge of that, but look at her face. It's so cute. I wasn't planning on mentioning this tool because it really doesn't fit the theme of this video, and I just got it last week. But the DeWalt trim router has been simply fantastic. Now, I'm a Makita man, but their version is junk compared to this. In fact, the only reason I have the DeWalt is because I broke two of the Makita. Now, what I like about the DeWalt is the depth adjustment and the fact that you can micro adjust. The Makita really just has a depth suggestion at best. Plus, it comes standard with this base plate, and that helps the router from tipping and gives you a safe spot to put your fingers. Oh yeah, and it has lights. This is what you want. I'm sorry, Makita, I hope we can still be friends.
Just so you know, it's not me, it's you.
If you are really looking to step up your builds, but not ready to conquer more advanced joinery or splurge on a festival domino, your best bet is dowels. They're incredibly strong, very easy to execute, and if you spend a little more money on a nicer kit like this one from Jessam, the accuracy is fantastic. If you're unfamiliar with Jessam, their quality is second to none, and is a small family-owned company from our friends north of the border. Now you might be saying to yourself, why can't I just stick with pocket holes? Now if the joint is hidden, that's no problem. But what if you're dealing with something fully exposed on all sides like this chair arm? Dowels are ideal. Some of the other nice benefits is it comes with 3 different size guides, plus an indexing pin if you want to add additional dowels on wider boards without needing multiple reference points. It also includes adjustments to quickly place the bit towards the center of your stock or drill multiple rows when extra strength is needed. At the end of the day, you can achieve the same level of accuracy with nearly the same versatility as the Festival Domino for a fraction of the price. In a previous video on my channel, I posed a simple scenario and asked if you have ever glanced at a tape measure and said, that's one line past the kind of big line. Literally hundreds upon hundreds of you reminded me that I consequently suck at woodworking because I can't read a tape measure. But the truth is, I can-ish. But I do like to make my life easier and minimize mistakes. That's why I would encourage you to get this beauty from FastCap. It has all the graduations printed on the tape down to 1/16 of an inch. Plus, it comes with a pencil sharpener that I never use. And while I can't say it's going to eliminate all measuring and marking mistakes, what I can say is it's going to reduce a significant amount of human error and keep you reasonably dialed in. But how close do you need to be for measuring and marking, and what tools should you buy? The answer to that question and many more can be found in this video right here. See ya!